Welcome to another special edition of Love Match Live. I'm Lenny Green from the Quiet Storm. Thank you for just taking a moment out of your time just to hang with me today. But I'm not alone, baby. No, no. When we do Love Match Live, I got this amazing lady that rides the saddle with me, that's insightful, informative, and creative beyond measure. She's the curator of Love Match Live. She's the producer of Love Match Live. It's a pleasure to be welcoming the actress herself, Miss Theater herself, Miss Hollywood herself, Janelle Simone. What's going on?
What is going on? I am so glad to be in the building one more time, being in the house of the Lord. Okay.
Well, you know what, Janelle, we are officially in the season of love. I mean, at least that's what I've heard. Summertime, it often starts a lot of romantic relationships, and we have a we have some special guests today, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be class, at least a part of a class, because these two lovebirds, to my understanding, they have a lot of information, vital information that people like myself and Janelle and maybe you really need to understand and know. Because I'm single, I'm a professional, and it ain't easy out here being green. In the words of my dear friend Kermit the Frog. So, Miss Janelle, please inform everybody. So wait, get a pen and paper because you're going to write down some information because I got my pen and paper already ready. I'm going to write down
Oh,
some information when
absolutely.
I get it. It's important that we
Right.
learn. I'm a student of life, so I like to learn as much as I possibly can. And to my understanding, we're going to learn something today.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of learning today because it is the beginning of summer and it's all about summer love. It's all about summer experiences. And right now, this is the time where people are really connecting and really getting to know one another. They're really exploring one another. And it was interesting because we recently had this conversation about a young lady. She was on social media and she was talking about the expectations of dating when it comes to meeting someone. And I thought that was so crazy. The delusional expectations of some of the people when they're first meeting someone. So when they are connecting, they are expecting these elaborate events and experiences. They want to go to white linen tables. They want to be picked up in Uber X's. They want to be flued out. This is crazy to me. This is crazy.
If you're saying that as a woman, think about what we as the fellas are going through. Because and Mr. and Mrs. Mattox, they're going to break it all down for us so we can understand. Because aside from some of love happening, some of flings happen too. And sometimes it doesn't go beyond summer. Maybe it's just for the moment. You know what they say? People come into our lives for a season, a reason, and a lifetime.
Hmm.
So obviously, if we're looking for love, we're looking for a lifetime experience. But I got to tell you, it ain't easy out here. I'm telling you, it's hard. It's people think it's easy, and people think it's easy because you're a professional, you have a job, but we're all working to get to the next level. So if I meet you, I'm meeting you on the same ground that you. But why should I like break my bank account? I'm not gonna tell you what. I'm not gonna tell you what the Queen of Comedy, some more said. I'll save that for another Love Match Live conversation because she has a. We got to bring her on the show as well. Some more, she can break it down for us too, but not like Mr. and Mrs. Maddox. So please give us
Oh,
that introduction.
oh, okay. Sure. I wanted to go into so actually within them, they are an incredible dynamic force. So they are the co-founders of When Love Works Dynamically, and this is a dynamic husband and wife duo. They are from New York City, and I'm really excited because their expertise is really not just about couples because they are a married couple, but they also have the ability to really help coach individuals. They're able to help, organizations. Sorry about that. Um, they
Oh,
have a love literacy book and they have a comprehensive guide. They have a lot of wealth, a lot of knowledge. And I was really excited to branch out Love Match Live because it's not just about singles finding love. Because the whole concept of Love Match Live is for us to meet with singles, meet with mature adults that are struggling, looking for love, but are really in a space and a mental mind frame where they are ready to stop being fake, take down the veil, open up the curtains, and be real and direct about what it is that they desire, what it is that they need, and what it is that they can really offer to someone else in order to build a lasting relationship. That is what Love Match Live is. So yes, we do want to speak with singles and individuals, but to have the ability to be able to speak with experts who can help get us right, help put us in a mind frame. Okay, it's not just about swiping right. It's not about prompts on a dating app. It's really about doing the work. It's really about listening, hearing, being at one with yourself, and now presenting yourself whole to another whole person. And so when I put out the call about bringing in relationship experts for this, it was just synergy for us to come together and bring in, like I said, this dynamic couple who really has made it their mission to help individuals, help couples really get to the point where they understand the language of love. And so here I am happy and proud to present Elitia and Cullen Mattox.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
how you doing?
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having. It's an honor to be here. Yep.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. So
Yeah.
so you know the plight probably more than I do. But as I was just saying to Janelle, it's hard out here.
Yeah.
It is.
Can I just start by saying something that we always preface it with? Please give yourself a break. Give yourself a break, Linda. Give yourself a break, Janelle. If you're listening, watching us, give yourself a break, because there is no love literacy curricula. We weren't explicitly taught in high school. We weren't explicitly taught in community college, trade college, 4-year degrees. It doesn't exist. And so we have to first preface this work by just saying remove any guilt or shame from any bad relationships, any wasted time. We weren't explicitly taught. So give yourselves a break.
There's over 7,000 universities in the United States alone, and less than 1% of them offer healthy relationship curricula. So it's amazing to me. Things aren't worse than they are, because most people are like getting by on trial and error, or from somebody else that's a little older that's gone through more trial and error, and that's just not. It's just not a good practice. Not a way to get. It's not optimal. Let's put it that way.
But can I interject for just a second? You said give ourselves a break. Can you break? What do you mean by that?
Sure. One in the studies that we've done, people on average spend about 3 years recovering after bad relationships. As Black people, we don't have 3-year increments to waste. And so we're saying, give yourself a break. If you had a bad connection, you were in a terrible relationship, you're still trying to bounce back from it, because we know you weren't explicitly taught. Cullen and I were in the same boat, but instead of complaining about it, we recognize that love takes work. If you want transformation from that trial and error pattern that we've been on, that we've seen our family do, then you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and invest some time, resources, and energy, right? But give yourselves a break, because if you weren't explicitly, in our culture, specifically in Black culture, we don't have program schooling where we are explicitly taught this is how you date, this is how you court, this is how you're in lifetime partnership. We created a curricula, but when we do the research, like Cullen said, less than 1% of it exists. So where would you have learned it?
So what would you have said because I meet people all the time and they don't give themselves, they go from one relationship to the next relationship without detoxing, clearing their head, reassessing everything to see what they did wrong, what was wrong, what they faced. What do you say to them?
Well, that's exactly what I was describing. That is not. It's you. It's just you, the common denominator, and you're basically recycling your trauma, your struggles, and stuff like that. It was really helpful to have professionals come in and help you get past, because you know what you know, and that's a finite amount of stuff that's going back and forth through your thought process, stuff you picked up here and there. But sometimes you're throwing out good stuff too that you learn, because you just said, well, the last relationship worked, so I'm gonna just throw this away. Didn't work, so I'm gonna throw this away too. Go to a professional. That's like you being under the hood and you know nothing about working on a car. You're gonna do just as much damage as you're gonna do to improve the situation.
And lastly, when we say give yourselves a break, I'm talking about from you and how you show up in relationships. You didn't know, so don't beat yourself. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel shameful. And to answer the second part of it, when you say give yourself a break, we aren't of the ilk that people need to put themselves on the shelf to heal and recover. You have an opportunity. Now, if it was a bad breakup, yes, get your therapy, get your support, but we're saying date at the same time. You have to do both. You have to learn how to, I can also heal, but I'm still worthy of love. And the only way I'm going to get to love is if I actively date. There are a lot of people who say I had a bad relationship, so I'm not going to do this thing. And they sit there for 2 years, but they know at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, that they really want a relationship. And you have to actively be dating in order to get the love that you truly deserve and that you truly desire. So if you're going to take a break, make sure that it's an intentional break with support, with therapy, with resources, but don't stop. Do not put love on the shelf.
Point noted.
Yeah.
Ms. Janelle?
Yes. With everything going on, I think this is where a lot of people, they get a little nervous about accepting information as a single person dealing with someone from who's been in together. How many years? It's been over 10 years, correct? You two together?
Almost 20 together. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So like the question usually it comes up a lot is you don't understand dating now, the struggles, like what we go through. So how do we really ask the right questions or even accept information without feeling, they don't know what we're going through today? Because you've connected in a time pre-hinge, point of plenty of fish, pre Tinder, pre all of this stuff.
Right. You want to get her? Or you want me to get her first, or you want to get her?
I'll be generous and just kind of in the middle give it over to you. But I'm gonna say it to you just like this. Most people get dating wrong, and like I said, this goes back to what I was saying. We were saying dating is just a shopping experience. That's all it is. You going to find someone. This is after you've done your own assessment of yourself and what your needs, preferences, and stuff are, and then you're going on a date, and your intention is to find out whether this person has the skill and the will to be in relationship with you.
See, and there we go right there. The skill and the will. So a lot of people like Pastor Devon Franklin just went viral on a video talking about if someone says they are too busy to contact you, they're not your person.
Yeah. And all of it's intel. We are very clear that we weren't taught how to date, but you have to know your current love expression first. That's why when we work with singles, we make them start with the love style quiz. How are you expressing love in the world now? And there are 3 types: frustrated, fantasy, or free love. If you show up and answer that quiz based on your honest energy and you get frustrated love, then we know you're more likely out there trying to find a match, but you're also simultaneously repelling people because you really have beliefs and thoughts that keep you frustrated because you're saying things like, oh, they don't have no good men, no good women. Oh, there's piss in the dating pool. That type of energy is indicative of your frustrated love, right? So that's what you're putting out, and you attract and repel at the same time at that energy. If you're fantasy love, we need you. We need you. You believe love exists, but you may be taking a break. You may have gotten hurt, but you just need a couple tools. If you're free love, we want you to get to consistently free, because free love people are ready. Like you said, they're willing. They're ready to do the work. They just need a couple tools. And so we ask people to know their current love expression first, and then get the roadmap to success, because dating is a very short shopping period. We hear people all the time, I've been dating for 3 years. No, you're in a situationship for 3 years. Dating lasts about 1 or 2 dates. You're in the cycle. We are very clear, again, specifically with Black people. We don't have 6 years to practice dating. We don't have 3 months to practice dating. We are very clear. It's a shopping experience. When you go into the store, you could try on that shirt, but you could put it down and walk out too. That's how we want you to be actively on your dates. The moment you know it's not a match, get up out that date, thank them, and keep it moving.
I see Lenny has a question.
We deal with representatives all the time.
Yes.
Repres-
Yes.
and we have the best presenters all the time as well.
Right.
So, are you saying you meet somebody, you give them 2 dates, and you evaluate if you're going to go 3 and 4 dates?
No. No. Go ahead.
What we're saying is first, you have, because remember, it's about love literacy. A lot of people take the time to get financially literate, and we're inviting people to get love literate. So first, you have to do your homework first. Start with you. And our book is broken up into those sections. Start with you. You have to do your profile first. We don't want you sitting on a date, judging and causing harm to another human being if you haven't even done your relationship profile. You don't know what you need and exist and have to nurture and what you're willing to give, but you're out here on dates. But if you've done that work, if you've done your profile, then you have to actively date. And we advise dating as many people as you can fill in your bandwidth, because it is a numbers game, right? So you have to go on active dates. But the moment you're on an active date and the person reveals maybe they're sexist, or they don't like something, or you see how they treat the
any type of non-negotiable.
Any non-negotiable, because you've done your homework first. When the non-negotiable comes up, we're saying get up. That's the end of that dating cycle. Start another one. And that doesn't take people long. So we're saying a lot of times we've been enculturated to take 3 months to figure that out. And the truth is, you don't need 3 months. When you do your work first, you can spot it immediately. Put people back in the universe with your part in love so that they can go find their person, and then you're free to find your person.
So even with making these plans, like, I think, are we really moving in a realistic space for the timing of, are we ready? Like, I think a lot of us, we have these spaces where we think we're ready and we're not. And then when we meet this person, we are fumbling the bag. We're fumbling the ball. We are Jermaine Dupri and Janet Jackson, fumbling the ball, because we weren't in a space like we thought we were. We loved the idea, the picture. It felt good. It looked good. But then when it came down to actually connecting, we realized, oh man, my skill doesn't fit my will.
Well, let me tell you something. Yeah, I'm so glad you said that, because this is the average experience for people. Like, see, there's this thing called chemistry, and chemistry is there to assist you. Chemistry is like training wheels. You have it while you're getting to know each other, and it's just amazing. You can hang out all night. You're so in love with her. You're there all night long, and the next morning you go to work, and people are like, man, what did you get a new haircut? What is it about you? You look different. You look amazing, and you going on 2 hours of sleep, and people think because that chemistry is amazing. It's there as a assistant while you're finding your way with one another. But I don't care how much chemistry you have. I don't care how compatible you are with someone. You're still gonna have to roll your sleeves up and do the work. You're gonna have to flesh out the preferences and stuff. And to speak to what you were saying, Janelle, a lot of people think they misread those training wheels as them knowing how to ride a bike. You don't know how to ride a bike yet. You still got to figure it out. So it's going to expose you, but don't worry, we've all been through that. And sometimes it's just you needing to get your skill level up, and sometimes it's just the wrong person. But either way, you're going to learn either how to get your skill set up or vet better. But one of the two is going to be the culprit.
Now, I am guilty. I am guilty of terrible vetting. I almost like my pick is wrong. My antenna is it's on the wrong frequency. I'm not, the radio station ain't coming in clearly. I'm getting a lot of static, a lot of fuzz, a lot of foolishness is coming in the radio. And that is where I also feel we have like the biggest issue, is that we don't know how to properly choose our mate. We were going towards the physical attributes, like, ooh, they give me the butterflies, they give me the tinglies. I'm on cloud nine, I'm on a rainbow, I'm flying, I'm all over, I'm in the sky, I'm cutting clouds, you know, all of that stuff. And then when the disenchantment sets in, we're like, this is this ain't gonna work. Like your work ethic is terrible. Your hygiene ain't really what it needs to be. Your communication skills is terrible. And now it's like, oh, what did I do? How do I choose? What things can as a single person should we be doing to help really, I guess, fine tune our ability?
So that's a good question, because again, that's where we start. You start with you first. And so we realize you're not the first person that's been, okay, my picker is off. Remember, in our community, we never learned how to set up our picker. So please give yourself a break, Janelle. You're not alone. You're about 99% of the population that was not explicitly taught how to sit down and vet, right? And so what we do in that relationship profile is you will answer questions about what you need. How much time do you need? Are you the person that needs 3 phone calls a day? Or do you accept text? Do you need FaceTime? Do you need face-to-face energy? Time is very specific, and that's just one set of questions, right, around time. So before you're on the date, you can assess all of that in the date. You can find out about someone's hygiene in a date. You can find out about their financials on a date. You're not being like a detective in interrogation, but you just sit and watch and see if what they're doing naturally is checking the boxes of your profile. This is not a verbal conversation. You're watching to see if their actions match up with their words, and how does it line up against your profile. But again, you have to start with your work. We are very clear. The name of our organization is When Love Works Dynamically, because you will work. Our book is Love Literacy, because it's about upskilling. So we're very clear there's a gap that exists. And unfortunately, we don't have schools doing it. So we created the curriculum. So there's a gap that exists. We want you to get caught up into speed. And because we usually work with high performing professionals, they don't have time. So we're going to give you the roadmap to streamline and get to the shortcuts. When you work with us, you're really paying for our mistakes, our clients' mistakes, over 10 years of best practices to get to the front of the line and get the tools quicker. That's what you're working with a professional to do, to skip the trial and error, to skip the struggle love. Because on your date, you will now know how to pick correctly, even before they bring out appetizers. You will know that clearly how to pick correctly.
Yep.
B Pearl, what's going on? So happy to see you in the chat. Yes, it is about learning your love language. And I think that is really the space where for us singles, like, we think we know what we need.
Right.
We think we know, but all we do know is what we want. We want this picture that we're trying to paint at the end of the road. When time we get to our rocking chair and we just watching the little hay barrels just breezing down the street together in a nice little summer day with our lemonade. But we have no idea how to really break down who we are and what we need in order to live a life of peace. Ooh, there go that word. I'm telling you, this is the trigger word for me, because people always talking about be my peace, be my peace, be my peace. No, you need to be your own peace and just let me be.
Yeah.
But so within this is why you are coming up with an amazing challenge. I'm so sorry, Lenny probably got bumped off of Wi-Fi. He's coming back. But we are talking about a really great opportunity for individuals to really go in an intensive, really, if you're really looking for love, if you're really ready to say, okay, I am tired of the excuses, I am tired of just doing what everyone else is doing. I got to do something different in order to get different results. You two have put together an amazing challenge for individuals. And let's go into that.
Sure. August 5th through 7th, 3 days, about 30 minutes to an hour each night. You're going to log in with us and get into the work. Again, we can't hide the fact that you will be doing some work. You're going to bring your whole self there, and we're going to help you gauge where you are. But we want you to have the tools to build, sustain, and repair, because we are very clear that Dating is a journey. Even if you're a couple, you're invited to this challenge as well, because we don't want couples to get to the place where they're like roommates, or they're trying to build chemistry, or it's been, I'm used to this, or I take you for granted. So there are some very nuanced skills that everyone can learn that we're spreading across this 3-day challenge. So if you're dating or if you're coupled, you are invited to the 3-day love literacy challenge.
So there was so many things that you just dropped into right there. Because one, it takes work. It takes work, and I think that was also Pastor Sarah Jakes, who also said this week that it is harder to date someone that has got it together than it is to date someone who is just here for fluff. It is harder. It takes more work, and it seems like it's a lot more like you got to do more in order to deal with somebody who's real than to deal with somebody who is just, loosey goosey. And it takes work. And then the other thing that you said that triggered me is just being roommates, and because that is crazy in this day where there are so many people who are together and they don't even like each other.
Well, I want to say something. I think it's important to just address this, and the fact for a lot of people, when they hear work, it's synonymous with struggle, and work is anything but that. Like this, if you choose properly, the work is it's work, but we got to come up with another name for it, because what I do with my wife is not work. It requires effort on my part in some things, but in some areas. But here's the thing: if you do this is why vetting is so important. Everything that's in mine and my wife's life is minimally, and I can't stress this enough. And this is best practices for anybody. The least thing is acceptance, because you're not gonna love everything about life, and you're not gonna love, because life happens, and some stuff is unfortunate sometimes. But my wife and I in our relationship, we're at least at acceptance, and the next level is enjoyment, and the next level is this, overwhelming enthusiasm and excitement about things. But if you can't get acceptance, is where the work is. That's where you're gonna come to that place where you say, look, and when I say acceptance, I don't mean that you leave it there. You can accept something, and all that does is that's inner agreement, and now you're not pissed off, upset. You're doing it from like that word you just used, from a peaceful place. You're at a peaceful place, and you can now address your partner from a peaceful place and from peaceful energy, which makes all the difference in the world, and prevents arguments and fights and disillusionment with one another.
Now it's funny because you actually said a word that was made more sense to me when you said the word effort, and I said, oh, that's a more digestible word when it comes to application in a relationship. Because when we think of work, we think of our boss, we think of the hours, the long hours, we think of the low pay for some, we think of not being in a space where we desire. And so sometimes you're right, we put these negative emotions towards words that should not be. Like, for me, I always laugh when my friends, they're so afraid to say the word no to me. And I said, saying the word no doesn't mean our relationship is going to end. No is not a negative. And we are so afraid of saying no that we're going to offend someone. And that's not the case at all. I still love you if you tell me you can't give me a ride to, to the whatever. I'll still love you if you can't pick me up from the airport. It's okay. You could tell me no. So I love that fact. As soon as you said making that effort, then it's like, oh, because the effort means, you're planting the seed for something to grow. It's something positive about it, where you're putting something in with the intention that something is going to be birthed out of that. So yes, I love it. I love it.
Hey.
So that makes me feel great about that. So within this literacy challenge, so it's going to be 3 impactful days for this for August, August 5th to the 9th, correct?
5th to the 7th.
5th to the 7th. That's right, because 5th to the 9th is not correct math. And we working on the math. We go just trying to see if Lenny was able to pop back in, but that's okay because we really have just cracked the surface of what it is. I'm just going to put that up again for those who want to know more about how to get in of this literacy challenge, because it's really about making the conscious decision that I am ready for something real. And whatever comes out of it, it's really about even love literacy, even within yourself. I think for a lot of shadow work, for a lot of deep down work, you find out how to love yourself more. And when you love yourself more, then you're not moving in a space of desperation of someone else outside of you pouring into you, because now you are whole. I might wait, let me see what's this like. Wait a minute. Yes, actually, wait a minute. But it is really, really important for that. So even within this, because you have a whole lot of things that you are doing together. You also are co-authors of a book. You do a lot of other opportunities for, and then you also have a love guide that you also offer on your website.
So the Love Literacy book came out of our challenges. We really, after we were doing the work and working with people and doing some workshops and seminars, people asked about the rest, like how do I go home and continue what I just learned in session with you? And so we had to sit down during the pandemic because you couldn't go anywhere, right? You had to sit down and we had to do this book. And so we created the Love Style Quiz, where you find out how you are currently expressing love. Because if we're giving you a roadmap and guide, and us as your coaches, you first have to know where you're starting from. So we want everyone to start with the love quiz. It's a free quiz. Find out how you're currently expressing love. And then once you get your responses, you have a couple options. You can either join the Love Literacy membership and go on, use the roadmap with us as your guide, with those check-ins, and it's an online portal. You could do it at your own pace, or you could jump straight into the 90 days where you're going to have 30 intense days with us of efforting, not work. You're gonna have 30 intense days with us, and then the next 60 days you're also getting that support. But remember, it's just like school. If you would think of theory and then practicum, the first 30 you're in class with us, right? We're engaging in your real life and how you currently show up, and redoing some love lessons, of doing your skill up really quickly, and then the next 60 days you're actively in the field doing the work. So that's
you're basically only dealing with us and as a consultant at that point, to consult us. And let me be clear, those first 30 days, it's not every day. It's once a week. So I just want to be real clear, because I don't want to scare people away. We've made it digestible, and we understand people have lives. So this is built to work around your life.
And again, we think about the busiest client we have. We have an active physician who does not have time. But we attended her wedding last year. Mm-hmm. She fit the time to actively date.
Right.
And she went from married with us to single again. She had to learn how to date again. And now she's married, happily married again. And that was in a year and a half. So if we could take the time to do the work as an active physician, we don't give anyone else a break. Come on, do this work with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
My apologies for the technical. The conversation was just getting to get hot, and I guess my devices decided to shut down. So my apologies for that. Yeah. I heard a bit of the conversation, and I just kind of want to piggyback. Do you two believe that exclusive dating is important? And what I mean by that is, because I meet a lot of people who exclusively date, meaning they meet a person and that's the only person that they will see, and that's the only person they will date. Do you guys support that, or do you recommend? You're smiling at them, so you must have had this question or something related to it before.
Well, the caveat is we can't answer that question without giving our definition.
Oh, come on.
No, we got it. No, you're gonna get the answer. But what we're saying is that for dating, for us, we say sex is off the table. You're shopping. It's still shopping. So date dating, remember, it's a short period, 4 to 6 weeks. I sometimes say 8. My wife says less. But after that, you're going into courtship. So if you're dating, you date as many as you can. That because it's non-committal. You at that point you're shopping. You haven't put down payment down. These are my analogies, but it's but
dating is not a relationship, is what we would say to that person. If you have been dating, you said committed dating, and that's, to us, we hear the language is wrong. Remember, we're all about literacy. So we're doing learning. You have to relearn that dating is not a relationship. We hear the word dating in months. We know that there's some language that has to be reset. You can't be in committed dating. You must have gone into courtship, but sounds like it's grave. Maybe the other person doesn't even know that you're committed, and that's what we call a situationship. To go from dating to courtship, where you only have one person, you have to have the conversation that we are exclusive now. Do you agree? Yes, I agree. Now you're stepping into courtship. That's no longer dating. Because dating is not a relationship.
Agreed. But I noticed upon me asking you guys this question, you went to the word sex. I didn't say they're having sex now. I'm just saying they just look at themselves as exclusive daters. So if he meets her or she meets him, this is the only person they're going to see. But they're not committed yet.
Yes.
Right.
That's
so
fine.
That's fine. That's fine. I was just using that platform just to announce the fact that long as sex is off the table, see as many people as you want to see as little as you want.
Yeah.
Because some people are really good at like, seeing several people at the same time. I was one of those one person guys. Like once I'm serious, I'm trying to find out about you. So
right. And I think once we know, ladies, we know. Just like I think once you know.
Yeah.
But how does a man get out of the friend zone? He may know this is the one that he wants, but she's not even feeling him. She's keeping him in the closet, keeping him in the stairwell, whatever she's keeping him at, but not nowhere close to where he can progress the relationship forward. Should he move on? Not waste his time.
I love my father. I love my brothers. I don't want any guy sitting there not getting what they need. So first, that guy has to do their profile, right? They have to know what they need and what they desire as they're dating this human being. When this person presents that they're not serious and he knows he's ready, he has to lead. That's what we call love leaders. He has to lead the conversation. He's a love leader at that point. He's going to initiate the transformation. He has to say the words, hey, I'm ready to move into courtship where we're exclusive. What about you? If that person doesn't have the bravery yet to say that, he's going to slide into sort of like this situationship gray area. And again, because I love guys, I love my dad, my brother, my husband. I don't want guys wasting time like that. I need you to have the conversation to get very clear, because what could happen is you look up and you've been friend zoned for 6 months and we can't get that time back.
And here's the thing. If this in the height of what should be the heyday during the chemistry time, if it's not reciprocal and you're not a priority, you're already starting out in a bad place. I say run. There's somebody that's going that's out of the box ready for you right now.
Wow. No, you said a lot. So Janelle, I don't know if you asked them the question, but I'm going to ask, hopefully you didn't. Can you love without expectations?
That is unconditional loving. Yes. That's the way the word is defined. Again, I only use the word work because love is a verb, but agape love is without expectations. Now we're saying without conditions as well. So when you date, because this is the journey, this is the roadmap that we have people on. When you date, that's another human being you're just getting to know. There is no expectations. That's not a relationship. And so Janelle and Lenny, how you all started the conversation about this person expected to be flown out, that's not dating. That is an unhealthy connection. And so when people learn how to date, they get love literate, you'll learn that when I'm engaging you for the first time, it's no expectations. You are another human being that I truly am grateful for, that took the time out to come meet me at this place, to come walk in the park. And at the end of that conversation, I'm going to know if I want to do that again. I'm going to explicitly express, I want to go on another date, or I'm going to explicitly express, thank you for coming out. This is not a match for me. Because you want to treat that person as a human being and put them back in the world with dignity.
And here's the thing. if you have conditions attached to your relationship, that's a damn math equation. Remember that shit in school, if then equations? That you know, what are you doing? Math, or you having a relationship? At the end of the day, that's why vetting is so important. Go out and find somebody who this is their natural expression is to cover the things that you need and want out of a partner. And then when they come into the relationship, you can let them be. You
Who
can
they
let
are.
them be. But nothing else is sustainable. If you have to go hounding them for what you need, you're going to be doing that for the rest of your life.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're catching some of these gems because they're dropping facts. And I assume, I don't mean to cut you, Janelle, I assume that during the 3-day challenge, love challenge, from the August 5th through the 7th, I assume that you're going to go over the essentials of what people need to know in 3 days. In 3 days.
We have to. Again, our community typically doesn't sit down for therapy. How long? What you think they're gonna sit down for a love therapy?
We don't even go to therapy these days.
We don't go to therapy.
Yeah.
So we have to. Cullen and I are very clear as relationship coaches. We have to get it in when we have you.
Yeah.
And again, our client is a busy professional. Remember, all of our clients are high performing, busy professionals, so they don't have time. So in the 3-day love the challenges, you're gonna get some love lessons really quick.
Highly interactive.
We want you to unpack and get to your thoughts and your beliefs. And we may trample on your thoughts and beliefs. We may trample on them, but we're going to give you a healthier practice to replace that with.
And you encourage couples as well as singles to come.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like we named before, a lot of couples are in dysfunctionships. Now they're committed. They're just like roommates. They're racking up years. They have anniversaries. But if you look at how they speak with one another, Cullen and I can tell easily the health of a relationship by the communication. How do they navigate conflict? Are they nurturing companionship? Those are 3 C's we look for in healthy couples. And people could be 40 years in. I'm celebrating 50th anniversary. But is it a healthy? Is it one that we want in the world for people to emulate? If the answer is no, then you need to get these skills and do some transformation.
Are you guys matchmakers as well? Because if 2 singles or 3 singles, 4 singles come there, and you've obviously spoken to everyone, right? To kind of get an idea of who is who and what their makeup is or how they are as a person. Do you find yourselves like, you know, John would be really good with Kanisha over here. Can we let's set them up and see how that works? Do you do that?
No.
If they haven't done our program, then no.
And
No.
let me it speaks to how well we're doing what we're doing.
Mhm.
You've had more reps with yourself than anybody has. I promise you, you're the better matchmaker than we will ever be. With tools, you will exceed us quickly.
We'll just give you the roadmap, the tools, and the guidance. But you find the person that gives you butterflies. And then y'all come and get them tools and work with us. That part we can.
You know, Miss Mattox, if a man hasn't been down the roads of hard knocks, look, some of my boys just recently stumbled upon situations, and I'm telling the brother, like, yo, man, she's toxic. And you need to recognize that, despite of the beauty. Forget about the beauty. Because the beauty comes from within.
Right.
But, you know, sometimes men and women, we have a tendency to fall for the okie doke, and we see the package.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't see what's underneath the wrapping.
Right.
And, you know, they just, I mean, it got to a level where he was just like messed up. So I hope that, you know, a lot of us become better at what we need to become better if we're seeking love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we all want someone.
We all
Yes.
want it.
Yeah.
You just have to get love literate. That's all. Just like people do financial literacy, just get love literate, and you'll have the greatest time.
And like my wife said, if you ever wanted love, you always want. So those people that put it on the shelf, stop lying to yourself. If you ever wanted, I read a long time ago that some people have the gift of not wanting companionship. Okay, that's a gift I don't have. If you ever wanted companionship, you always want it. So stop putting yourself on the shelf, because you're really gonna regret that time that now you've lost. And it's pretty much the same thing you were saying about your friends. If you're in a situation, it's even worse when you're with somebody but they're not feeling it. It's the same difference. You want love, and that love box is still unchecked, but you have somebody still taking up that space. So you're even worse than somebody sitting in the corner by themselves.
I'm gonna shut up, Janelle. I'm gonna because I can ask these two questions until I'm blue.
No, this is good. For in the chat, shout out to Little Lovely Lady. Absolutely agreeing. Facts, be pearls. It's just really sitting in and taking all of this information in within the questions, because what we are doing, it's so funny because as we are being introduced to you and what you do, there's so many other layers and levels that can be broken down, and sometimes we don't even know the question to ask because we're still at the surface level, and then we're like, oh my gosh, and then we have to learn how to do this, and then the words that we're saying, am I saying the correct word, am I really, because we're talking about spells and we're roots of words, and that as we speak we are sowing things into our atmosphere, which is why we could speak unto things and they die, and we could speak unto mountains and they move, and we could speak unto life and it brings forth life. So it is very important to understand even the words that we are saying, being really conscious of what we're saying. And so there's so much.
No, there really is. No, there's so much.
I like that you went there, because even in the beginning of our journey, we had both been married to other people before. And in our early dating, I'm thinking we ready to get in courtship. And I was like, okay, we ready to be boyfriend and girlfriend. I'll take this thing serious. And Cullen was like, well, a couple times, I think you call that love. Don't love me then if you call that love. And I was like, what is he talking about? I've been married before. So language and being on the same page with the definitions is very important. That's why we're framing this as love literacy, because though I had been married before, he had been married before, we clearly had two different definitions of a healthy relationship. So what we did was get on the same page and built out the curricula so that we can be on the same page to move our relationship in a healthy way. Because like you say, words are very powerful. And when you're at a date, you have to ask the person, what do they believe dating is? They may say dating means commitment. I'm with you and we in this together for about 4 years, and then I'm gonna find out if you're the one. At that point, you see that you're not on the same page, but that happens every day because we don't have the literacy around dating and the literacy around courtship.
I speak to so many other older couples, and I hear them say, we've been together for like 15 years. They haven't been married though.
It happens all the time. It's a dysfunctionship. We get it. It.
It's not happening these days, is it? In your opinion?
It's still happening.
It's still happening.
Yeah.
It's still happening. And the first thing we do is talk about the fact that dating is a short period, 4 to 6 weeks, and courtship is a year. You get to see people in like several different seasons. At the end, look, if you're not moving after that, it's usually fear-based. We've been doing this for years. And love and fear can't coexist.
Right.
Look, what does Gandhi said? Love is the prerogative of the brave. It's true.
No, you're right.
It's the bravest thing you will ever do.
Yeah, after the end of the year, the courtship year, because dating is very short, and then you become exclusive, and it's called courtship. And we give you the same timeline breakdown in our book. In that year, if you all aren't making arrangements toward a lifetime partnership, at the end of that year, you should go into part in love. It's one of two directions. You're either going into lifetime partnership or parting in love. Mm-hmm. After a year, you don't need 15, 5, 3 years to do that.
Well, can you say that? You break that down for me again?
Sure. The timeline, the journey, the roadmap, dating very short. One date all the way up to maybe 2 weeks 6 weeks if you're in different states, something like that, right?
And then you get into courtship?
It's not a relationship, because dating is not a relationship. So that's about 6 weeks, right? Stop. Courtship is two people from dating who have explicitly expressed that we want to be committed to one another in a relationship, because dating wasn't a relationship. So nowadays, if both people say yes, now they've entered courtship. We're saying courtship is a temporary relationship that lasts only 1 year. At the end of courtship, you two have to have another conversation. Are we going into lifetime partnership, or are we parting in love? Because what you just highlighted, Lenny, was that someone is still at the end of courtship, but it's 15 years because they haven't had the conversation, usually fear-based, and they're just thinking that time is going to solve things. And we're like, no, you have to actively put in the effort to solve things.
And why are we so afraid to ask questions? Why are we so afraid to address? I mean, I'm keeping it real. I mean, because
I will tell you because some people would rather let the relationships let the false or the false like false harmony. Nah, that's not what I was gonna say. Some people would rather have a false relationship than have none at all. So they don't want to be the one that blow it up. Because like you said, for superficial reasons, they like having that person on their arm or have it now they don't have to go home by themselves, or they can tell, and sometimes they brag and say, or taking this person to the family reunion or something like that. All these reasons are not reasons to hold on to somebody.
Right.
You can have this and somebody that actually gets you, somebody that is easy to be around, that you can be around. That word I'm using very intentionally. Being with somebody is so much more superior than happening to be in a role. And most people are playing a role.
Yeah.
They're like, man, I like her or I like him. So they fall, like Janelle was talking about, the person that got tempted to fly somebody out to whatever because he got all the stuff in place. Okay, you get her out there, but you're playing a role, and you clearly are. That is not a favorable arrangement. So that is not going to win. It's good. It's based on something that's not real and something that's not sustainable. That's a tourist in your life.
Wow, gotcha. A tourist.
Yeah. Shout out to the people in the chat. I just want to shout out Biggie Hall right here, who is saying that some people prefer fantasizing and go for the gusto, is saying that, honestly, people are just afraid that they know the answers. And so they prefer to create this reality pretty much because they prefer to deal with this. As we were talking about ships before, and I had to laugh when you created that ship, because I say that I've been an imagination ship, but we create these imagination ships.
It's so true.
We create these imagination ships because the reality is it's a scary place.
That's why we go with that love style quiz, because you will find out if you are fantasy, because you may be the one that's a fantasy love and you're doing these imagination shifts, these situation shifts. You have to know what you do first before you can judge other people. You have to know where you're starting from. So you nailed it. A lot of us are in fantasy world, frustrated world, just don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah, but you know what? We don't want to look at the man or the woman in the mirror.
Yeah.
We can look at everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
We can look at ourselves and be judgmental because we know what's wrong with us. We know we're not right in certain lanes, but we won't address it or look at it and come to confession with it to try to change it within ourselves. And I guess that's where you two come in so greatly to kind of expose and take back those layers. That's why I do these topics on the Quiet Storm, and Janelle listens to all the time. She participates in these conversations with me because I think once you get into these relationships, once a relationship is established, like you two, well, y'all have been together for 100 years now, so y'all are kind of know each other backwards and forwards. But a lot of relationships, if you don't ask the questions, certain questions or certain areas you don't want to ask once you get into that relationship, because the other person may look at you a little sideways. So when I do these confessions of love topics, and I love it when couples listen as well as single folks, it at least starts the conversation amongst themselves.
Right.
It may be something that they may be dealing with. It may be something that a friend of theirs is dealing with, but now they can have an open, intentional conversation without being judged.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're liberating people
Yeah.
by doing that. That's awesome. Kudos to you, bro.
Oh, I'm going to get y'all guys on the show. I understand.
And don't mistake it. Cullen and I have been together for 20 years, but the way we met in our 20s and 30s and 40s are different. So we still have work to do. That's why we work with both couples and daters, because even as a couple, we just came back from South Africa with the couples retreat, right? We had the couples in the room actually doing work. There were couples that were together 50 years, some that were together 3 years. There's still work to be done once you're in it, because our bodies change, what we need sexually change, like all of that happens. You still have to get in there and put in the effort. So it's still some work to be done, even though you've been with the person and you know them, right?
It's the gym. You don't go to the gym once and say you're done. It's the gym. This is no different. If you keeping your physical fitness up, you think you're not going to keep your relationship fitness up, and your just like your financial fitness. If you got to be on top of all of this stuff. It's because you're changing. If you're living, you're changing. That's what it means to live, is to change, to evolve. So your skills are going to have to evolve too if you want to be in a proactive place.
Hey, look, I've learned so much today, even though I got disconnected. I learned so much today just by listening to you two. I wish you both a lifetime to the end of time of happiness and love fulfillment. And thank you for being so kind to share your wisdom and your insight with those of us like myself who are still lost in the jungle, so to speak, and trying to find what we're supposed to find, or who we're supposed to find, or what we're supposed to find as we go through this journey of life. So it's really rewarding to know that there are wonderful couples like you who are so kind to just help others get to where you guys are. It's really a gift in itself. So bless you both.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You got to tell us how can they get the book? How can they sign up for your 3-day challenge? I wish I could do it, but I cannot do it because see why you guys have it on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I know this because August 4th is my 20th annual Lenny Green Family Day. Yay. So Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, I've got to do the Quiet Storm. So
right.
Can we get a weekend retreat at some point, please?
Yes.
Sure.
So I can come?
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
And you could probably do the replay. That's probably what was going to be best for that time.
Right.
But yes, right now we have the 3-day Love Lit Challenge coming up August 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Thank you.
5th.
30 minutes to about an hour, depending on which one you sign up for. 30 minutes to an hour of your time where you're going to get these love lessons. You're going to customize the work because how you've been doing it, you have to tweak it. So the second day is all about customization. And then we want to maintain that free flow. So sign up for the 3-day Love Lit Challenge. Click on the link right there, and you can join as general or VIP, and you'll be in session with us. That's coming up. We also have Love Literacy book and workbook. These two again are both out of a ton of research, our own best practices, 10 years of doing this work with other people, and so it's a roadmap for you to actually get in there and do the work. Remember, the first part of the book is start with you. You want to do your work first before you even engage your partner, whether you are actively dating or in a relationship. And then it's shaking hands, holding hands, and then never letting go of hands is the journey that the book is laid out in. After that, if you just don't want to do the journey by yourself, you can always become a Love Literacy member where you have the same sort of roadmap, but you have us as guides along that journey. And that's an online portal that comes with the app so that we'll be constantly in your ear and at your fingertips for that support while you're actively putting these love lessons to work. And then finally, we're going back on a couples retreat. We do them every 2 years. So we just came back from Cape Town, South Africa this March, and we're going to Thailand in December 2026.
So the couples retreat, Janelle, is not for single people like me and you. So that's a couples retreat, right? It's a couples thing.
That one is couples. But look, you got 2 years.
Figure it out. Get somebody.
2 years. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, that's healthy. That's respect. Miss Janelle.
No, I want to say thank you so much for joining with us for this. I think where we are going, Lenny and I, with Love Match Live, it's not just about entertainment. Of course, we want to have fun with singles. Of course, we put them on the hot seat and we ask them questions about what it is that they want. But we also wanted to create a space that we are also being educated on how to live a better life. And so we wanted to definitely find extraordinary people like yourselves who can expound on your experience and help us just see things maybe a little differently than because, like we keep doing the same thing. It's insanity if we're expecting a different output. And it's really about making a choice, making a decision to learn and put the effort in. Say thank you again for joining us on this show.
Thanks for having us.
It's an honor to
really
be.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So as we continue to move forward within Love Match Live, this is just the beginning. I'm telling Lenny, come on. Come on.
Hey, look,
But
I'm still in the jungle. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm trying to figure some things out. I'm dealing with lions and tigers and monkeys. So I don't know.
you
We'll
do
figure
look
it out.
a little tan. You look.
Yeah, you know, the trees cover me for the most part, but then you get exposed to the sun, you know, so it is what it is. But no, I really enjoyed Mr. and Mrs. Max. And they
Yes.
dropped a lot of science. I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who dropped in and I was disappeared real quick. My devices overheated because I knew we were going to get into something hot, and it realized that it was getting hot, and it just said de-stress release, and I'm like, oh damn. So my apologies for
it's
being
all
absent.
good. And I think this is where we're really moving forward within the show. It's really about building a community, building a space. Shout out to everybody in the chat, to our family out there, our co-hosts who come in and offer their insight. They are offering their questions. Keep that chat alive. And of course, if you are single and you want to get on air with us and put it out there, what it is that you desire, what it is that you need, we can help facilitate a space for you to get some eyes on you. And if you are an expert in your field, we are looking for intimacy. We got to do some more intimacy.
Yeah, we need. I'm gonna bring my girl, the sex therapist, in. We're gonna heat this up.
Yes, I love that. We even got a psychic medium that is going to come in and answer questions about love in the future. We've got so much talent coming in to really help us move the needle forward, connecting us to each other, because that's what we need in a space where we just came out of being in isolation. We need some guidance, some help to bring us back together, and it takes a village, and I'm so happy that we are here. So make sure you are following Lenny Green Official. Make sure you are also following me at Janelle Simone, and of course make sure you are following Love Match Live. Lenny.
We'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a wonderful and amazing week in love. Tomorrow begins the first of a new month in the season of summer. So enjoy the season, enjoy meeting people. Don't be apprehensive in meeting people as well. You know, you gotta, in the words of my boy Silk Sonic, leave the door open for love, and love can come in. It can't come in if it's behind a steel door and it's barricaded, and you're trying to find how can love come in to meet me, and you don't have no way of love coming into your life. So you have to be adventuresome to a degree and get out and be willing to meet people. And ladies, don't be too hard on the men. You know, they ain't gonna walk you down the aisle right away. You know, we just want to say hello. Everything with, I can remember a classic song by the Intruders. Those of you who know the old school songs, I want to know your name. It starts with that. And after that, we can have a little conversation. So, and the same thing with fellas. But see, fellas, you know, we don't get approached. We always have to do the approaching. And ladies, we want you to put away all the weapons. Let us approach. Let us just find out your name and let's have a little conversation. We ain't trying to take up much of your time at all. If you feel the vibe, exchange the information. If you don't feel the vibe, adios, amiga. Amigo, whatever. Get out of here. But Janelle,
boy, we all
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for a wonderful experience and introducing me to Mr. and Mrs. Mattox. They're off to a wonderful start. They've been doing their thing for quite some time, and we wish them continued success.
Yes, and this is just the beginning. Each week, we're going to be bringing in some more guests, some more things. So for everyone who is watching right now, you make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Keep those questions coming because you are our co-host. So we need you for the next show, of course. So thank you again for everything. Appreciate it.
I can't do that, but whatever she did, I'm out. I'll see y'all later.